I remember that moment very clearly in my life. I was lying down on my couch looking at every YouTube and there was a Malayalam interview. And during that interview, I saw Mr. Nambi Narayan's face and he had tears in his eyes. It was a defining moment which made me decide that I have to do this film.
The first introduction to Nambi sir was probably, I didn't know him in person, but what I heard about was the ISRO spy case in 1994 when I was in college. So all the newspapers were splashed with those images, and probably that was the image that remained in my mind, which was there because we didn't know Nambi sir, nothing was known about him in the media. The only information that we got was from the media. When we came to know about Nambi sir, that was a shock that we experienced because we came to know about the story through Maddie. So that's the first time I came to know about Nambi Narayanan as a person.
It was a man who was wronged. I could see that deep inside was a man who was hurt, who was devastated by the lack of acknowledgement and the accusation that impacted him and his family. And there was embarrassment, that there was tears in his eyes. But deep inside, in that expression of his, was the core of absolute truth. And I stood up and I clapped, not realizing where I was, what I was doing. And then I said aloud to myself that this is a story I have to say.
It wasn't until Madhavan told me that his next movie is about an ISRO scientist and that it's about Nambi Narayan.
Then I asked him more about it and he just told me about the details. He was going to just make a movie about it.
Strangely, all of us ended up talking only about the case. How he got arrested, how he was tortured, his opinion about the reason behind the arrest, who these Maldivian women were, what was so hollow and wrong about the whole accusation. It was a baffling story. After 7 months of rigorous research and writing, when I eventually went back to Nambi sir for his approval of the script, which was part of the contract, he was very excited that I'd got all the details right. But during the course of the conversation, he said, no, this point is not entirely correct because, see, to prove the stability theorem, I had to, I had actually been to Princeton, and that's where I learned that this. So I said, wait a minute, what do you mean Princeton? He said, I had studied stability theorem in Princeton. I was the first Ivy League scientist to go from India to the US and join the Ivy League. This information did not exist either in Wikipedia or on YouTube or it was sparingly mentioned somewhere during some conversations, but I didn't realize the importance of it till he started talking to me. And I realized his relationship with one of our foremost scientists from India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who became the president of our country, and his friendship with him, the relationship with him, with Vikram Sarabhai, from France to Scotland to Russia to Pakistan. The journey just unfolded. And I could see my script being torn to shreds over and over again. I remember just finishing that conversation, going into my laptop and deleting the entire script because I never wanted to go back to it because there was so much of injustice there as a story to tell. And it took me another 1.5 years to put the whole script together about this really incredible man, his unbelievable and fantastic journey about Shri Padma Bhushan Nambi Narayanan.